How on earth did you get in there? I just pulled this spray bar apart because, dude, what are you doing in there, mate? What the? Little Pleco. Inside the spray bar. Huh. G'day, mate. G'day, mate. Well, I decided to get some more fish for this tank. I've had no fish in here for nearly 2 months. So I've got two of these guys, Pakistani loaches. And I've got some peacock cichlids, just because I love them. I can't help it. I love cichlids. So I've got 4 of them. And there is 2 tiny little baby bristlenose. They're way down the back somewhere, but anyway, feels good to have some fish. And I just put a little tiny pinch of food in there, and they're already eating. They've literally only been in the tank 10 minutes since I gave them a fish bath and then released them. So we'll see what happens. We'll get some different plants again soon. Pulled some of the swords out, some of the baby ones. I've got them, there's 4 or so of them floating around up there, which I'll probably give to a mate. And yeah, oh yeah, got a new, there's a Pleco, little fella. Got a new sponge filter, so that should help, hopefully. I do have the external filter down here, but we'll see what happens. G'day, mate. That one was actually a give-in. I picked out that one there, and these 2 guys. But that one just came out and he said, "Oh, you can have them if you want." So yep, for sure. So yeah, I pulled out heaps of like dead plant leaves and all sorts of stuff. I've had the lights turned off in this thing for a month or so. Just because there was no fish, so what's the point? So a lot of the older leaves that weren't doing well started dying off, so I've pulled out as much of them as I can for today with a nice water change. And tank has some life in it again, so it's good for my brain. It is good for my brain. I was devastated when I lost all the other ones. And here's the other tank. This one I also lost a bunch of fish in. I had some really nice guppies in there. They all passed away, but all the females gave birth before they passed, so I've got a ton of little babies in here, and I've got one half beak left who's still cruising around. Loves eating live insects, which is really interesting. Yeah, so there's still a heap of shrimp in here. I did lose a couple, but get that. But yeah, it seems happy enough. Here's a little shrimpy. Hey, mate. So yeah, just spent a week in Queensland, and yeah, back home. Time to play with some fish. Time to do a lot of things. I haven't been doing much really in the last 12 months. It's coming into fire season. We're allowed to have campfires and stuff, so next week. So from next weekend onwards, I'll go and do some camping. Really miss the bush. Really miss the bush. Especially after spending a week up in Queensland. Crazy. But anyway, that'll do for now. Ta-ra, mate. Bees. Yeah, mate. Exploring their new home. Ah, so good to see fish in here again. Huh? Airplane. DA40. Yep. Blacko! These guys are awesome. Alright, here we go. So, it's been for a couple of hours since I got the fish into the tank. I spent a lot of time on this morning. Well, during today as well. And got the new sponge filter, which was instead of just having the air stone, and then there's obviously the external canister filter in here as well. But, you know, just after everything else that happened, I just wanted some more redundancy, and I started getting algae and bits and pieces growing on the plants and everything, because there was no life left. All the fish died, everything was gone. I did throw some snails in here, just some tiny little things. God, that would have been a month ago. Anyway, as you can see, like looking at sorry, I'm asthma here. You can see here, it's just a little wave maker. That was there because I used to have a lot of big fish in this tank, big, you know, 6 to 8 inches, and was trying to get some extra flow to try and move the rubbish and stuff around. But yeah, so anyway, all that stuff aside, little Pleco, that little Pakistani loach there, awesome. A little Pleco. This was the guy that was just stuck up in the spray bar. He's tiny. He's, geez, not even an inch long yet. He's tiny. I have no idea how he got in there, because the spray bar was literally, you can see how it mounts. That's how it comes back in. And it wasn't unmounted. Like, I don't get it. How, you know, he's too big. This is the intake. If I go over here, and you can see this because I've been pulling the plants apart today, getting all the dead leaves. You know, that's got a lot of crap wrapped up in it. Those little slits are tiny. There's no way he could have got in through there. And if he'd went through the filter, well, you know, Nemo, chuck a rock in the fan, will he? So I don't know how that happened. It was, unless it wasn't quite connected enough, it looked, I don't know. He was in there. I don't know. It spun me out. But hey, he's alive. Pulled it apart. I even gave it a little bit of a clean. And he's cruising. Yeah, he's back to munching. Anyway. So the crypts have survived. They are growing. I did pull a couple of leaves that weren't looking too good. There's still a couple that aren't looking too great, but whatever. We've got some life in here now. The cichlids, they're just gorgeous. So they were named as peacocks. To me, those two look like electric blues, but you know, maybe there is a cross in there. I don't know. There's just, you know, there's too many variables. So yeah, in giving them a fish bath, which is something I've never actually done, and I had some concerns after adding some of the fish to this tank when I had that massive crash, which I believe came from the water change and the fact that I forgot to turn the bloody heater back on, and it was cold weather, and I had an emergency call out, and I didn't find out until 48 hours later the tank temperature had dropped to, we can see here now, she's sitting at about 28 degrees. There you go. And it was down here at 22. And this was currently, actually the tank then was actually a little bit warmer, sitting up around the 29, 30 mark, because I had clown loaches and stuff like that in here, and the Pictus catfish. That was my belief from, you know, looking at doing all the water tests, ammonias, like copper tests, nitrates, nitrites, the whole lot.
all of that stuff was all well normal. Like, ammonia was 0. Nitrates were sitting between 10 and 20 at the worst. All the rest of it. But anyway, it's all in the past. Have to move forward at some point. So, these are the new guys. Just 2 plecos. And 2 of these Pakistani loaches. Hopefully they'll clean up some of the algae and stuff, which they definitely are. You can see them going nuts. Got the light timing system back up. And these cichlids, so I'm happy enough with that. It's it's not just entertainment for me, it's actually, it's life. I really enjoy watching animals grow and thrive and trying to produce a nice environment that suits them, hopefully well enough. I'd like to get some new plants, but we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. I just always have that. I've never had a whole tank crash and lose every fish before, so I'm just, you get that little bit of paranoia that, have I done something wrong? Well, I believe it was because I had not turned the heater back on after doing a big water change on a very cold weekend. So I blame myself, and I just hope I don't end any other animal's life unnecessarily. But it is good. It's good to try and get back to things that I enjoy, because there's not been a lot of that. And get back into the groove of things. Speaking of getting back into the groove, airplanes and my baby. I really need to do something with this. It's been sitting here. I haven't started this car in months. Time to get to my A into G. Speaking of which, also time to get a Weber on. Cook some food. Hell yeah! Alright, that's enough for now. Ta-da, mate.